everyone, my name is Courtney. I write under the pen names Lyra Parish, and I'm one half of the USA Today bestselling duo Kennedy Fox. And today I'm giving you a 1.5 year update of me quitting my full-time job. If you're new here, I quit my corporate job in March of 2020 to write full-time. I have a playlist where I gave you guys a monthly update of my first year and a yearly recap, and here we are a 1.5 years later. So I just wanted to kind of give y'all a rundown of the things that have been going on the last 6 months, stuff that, you know, we have accomplished as Kennedy Fox, things that I'm working on. I can tell you that it's much easier to make this video monthly than it is to make it in a huge chunk like this, because it's really easy to forget the things that have been done. So I have a list of things. I'm sure that I've forgotten something just because the last 6 months of my life have been a little rocky. So the first thing that we did was an anthology project. I have spoken about this before, I believe, in a previous video. It was several authors who got together to raise funds for the Ronald McDonald House. All the proceeds of this project went to that organization, and we ended up making USA Today with that project, and also we donated $25,000 to Ronald McDonald House. Basically, they help families who have sick children, and they give them a place to stay and kind of take care of some of the financial burden. I'll put a link down below if y'all are interested in that organization or finding out more about that. It was really awesome that we were a part of that and we were able to give back. So the next thing that we did was we focused a lot on rebranding series. And I talk about how rebranding is important, especially when books are older and you're trying to bring new life into them. Backlist is king, and you want to make sure that you're always keeping your older books up to date with current times because it's easier to sell them. And so we were just looking at some things that we had written a few years ago and realized we have the money to recover these series and rebrand them. We worked on the Roommate Duet series, which you can see that these were the original covers, and we replaced it with these covers right here. We kind of tweaked the blurbs a little bit. We also boxed them together in a 6-book set. We did that to the Checkmate Duet series as well. And if you watch the unboxing video of when I got those in the mail, the book is thick. It's 6 books in one. The new covers are beautiful. Dana did an amazing job designing those for us. We redid what was previously known as the Bedtime Read series. That series has gone through it, guys. We have changed covers now 3 times, 4 times, 3 or 4 times. And we have changed titles now 3 times. We've changed author names on it. And I don't really have any regrets because I think that we finally got the series to a point where it needed to be. We knew that we had packaged those books wrong, and we knew from the beginning. Y'all have heard me talk about this series so many times, and I think we're finally at the point where it's where it needs to be. If you look at those covers compared to the rest of our books, like our entire catalog, it fits in a lot better. The third series that we worked on was the Ex-Con Duet series. And Brooke and I realized that, you know, maybe having Ex-Con in the series wasn't like the best idea. When we first wrote it, we thought it was a great idea, but sometimes you make mistakes and you miss the mark and you don't realize it until time has passed. And sometimes you realize that in the middle of a series like we did, and we have never rebranded in the middle of a series. We always want to give our readers the opportunity to finish their collection with the covers that they have. When we do series, we get all the covers made at once. We don't wait around and get the first 2 and then get the next 2. Like, we get them all done at once so we can see the big picture of how they'll look laid out. And so we already had the covers done for the final 2 books, and we kept pre-order on our website for those covers if people want to essentially complete their collection with that set. And then also we have pre-orders for the new covers. With that series, we changed the series name from the Ex-Con Duet series to the Lawton Ridge Duet series. And that's the small town those books take place in. It's a made-up town that Brooke and I created. They are all small town romance. They have suspenseful elements to it. Yes, the heroes may have done some time in prison, but that's not the main focus. And so we wanted to make sure that we were portraying those books correctly. So we changed the series name. We kept the titles and we changed the covers so they have more of a small town feel. We weren't so busy. I love the way that they look now. And I think that's the only 3 that we have worked on in the last 6 months. Looking at my bookshelf that is incomplete with old covers. We've done a lot of rebranding, and if you can afford to do it, I highly recommend it. You do not have to go and get custom photos done, guys. Like, you can use stock images and it's not even that big of a deal. I'm sure that you noticed that on some of our covers you saw the same images, and that's because for roommates we had a photo shoot done where we had several images in different poses. Some of those images changed on those covers, and then of course on the ex-con/Lawton Ridge duet series we had custom photos, so we kept those. But if you notice on the Make Me series, we originally had custom photos for all those books, and then we used stock images for those. Yes, those are stock images. I think that's why it's important for you to find a cover designer that is, 1, not going to charge you an arm and a leg to make a cover, and 2, who can make stock images look really nice. I wish I could say like that we're not gonna rebrand ever again. That's just not reality. I imagine 5 years from now we'll probably redo all these covers again, and that's because in 5 years from now the market may change. What people like may shift a little bit. So we like to make sure that our covers and our packaging and our blurbs and all of that is up to date with current times. For the Lawton Ridge, we also redid blurbs, so they're shorter, not as long. We took out some of the stuff that was just unnecessary and tightened them up, and I think that that's really helped too. We are actually releasing the last 2 books in that series. One releases in about 2.5 weeks, and the next one releases the next month. So busy writing those and just making sure that we are putting the best possible books out there that we can. Next up is we have been moving ahead with translations. I had spoken about this in my New Year's video. I don't remember, but I know that I've talked about it. We have decided to start getting our books translated ourselves to self-publish. And I remember when I was a new author back in the day, like I just never thought that that was a thing that, you know, indies did, but it absolutely is, and I'm really excited to be moving forward with that. Since Brooke does all of our audiobooks and deals with our narrators and producers and all of that, I deal with our translators, and so I'm the person who essentially like hires our translators and vets them and basically sets up their schedule, make sure that they are hitting their deadlines, paying them and all of that. And Brooke does the same types of things for our audiobooks. So she deals with the narrators, making sure that they're scheduled, that we are on their list, making sure that we're going to get books at specific times. And so we both have like 2 different branches of like our sub-rights, I guess you could call it. I've been working with some Italian translators because that's the first language that we're dipping our toes into, because we have publishers in French, in German, and in Polish, and we have books that are still being translated by our publishers, and so we didn't want to compete with them. So our goal is to have all of our books translated in Italian and see how it goes. Right now we've gotten 4 books done. We're doing the Roommate Duet series first. Brooke has formatted those. I've uploaded them to all the sites and they're available for pre-order now. I'm in the process of finding Italian reviewers. A lot of people are like, how? Where did you find them? I literally just put a call on my Facebook. I'm like, hey, anybody know anyone who reads in Italian? Someone was very gracious to private message me and send me a bunch of contacts for bloggers, and that's why it's important to friend people and be active online, because you never know who knows all these bloggers who read in a different language. I'm working on getting the last 2 books of the Roommate Duet series translated, and then our next series that we're going to get done is the Checkmate Duet series, and then probably the Lawton Ridge Duet series until all of our duets are done, and then I'm going to start going down the list with our interconnected standalones like Bishop Brothers and the Circle B Ranch series and the Make Me series and Love in Isolation series. I can't wait until next year when we launch them so I can kind of give you all an update of how they did, like if we made our money back. It is expensive to get books translated. Like, I love learning new things and testing new things out, and we've just been honing in on this because it can make a huge difference in the amount of money that we make next year in 2022. Another thing that we have been working on is alternative covers for our books. More specifically, the Love in Isolation series. The Two of Us, The Best of Us, The End of Us, and The Heart of Us. We've gotten alternate covers for those out there. And of course, our box sets, which I believe I already spoke about, they don't have people on them other than the Make Me series. They have objects. And so that's really cool that we're trying that out too. So yeah, alternate covers. People love to collect them. People love to see them. I really can't wait until we start doing signings again. Not gonna happen this year. We might not do signings next year either, but it's gonna be exciting to see like which books people bring to us, because we've changed covers and we have alternate covers and we just have a lot of books out there. So, and on top of all that, we also released several books, 3 which were in the last 6 months. We released Bossing the Cowboy, Kissing the Cowboy, and Winning the Cowboy, and those did really well. I was surprised to see how many pre-orders we got. You guys know that we have been trying to build our pre-orders since we were wide and went to Kindle Unlimited and then went back wide. Our pre-orders have not caught up to where they used to be yet, but I see them growing. And the more books that we write in the Circle B Ranch series, it's obvious that people are just really enjoying it and reading through it because our pre-orders are growing. Our pre-orders are growing on all of our books. And so I know that, you know, if we just keep at it and keep pushing, that it's just going to keep going up from here. So that's something that's really, really exciting. Also with that, we had our audiobooks produced. As I mentioned, Brooke takes care of all of that. And so we got our files. I uploaded them on ACX, which surprisingly they have been very quick the last 6 months. I think the last book that we put up only took 10 days for them to process it. And if you go back to last year, I believe, or the year before that, we were waiting like 45 to 60 days for a book to go live, which is crazy. Our processing time has gone down with that, which has made it a lot better because we are not at the point where we're completely ahead where we can send the book to the narrator so they can start on it before we publish. We're still playing catch up because we've released so many books this year. So it's kind of like, okay, we need to write this book after we get both rounds of edits and all of that and it's ready to go, then send it to the narrator so they have the final copy that they can start recording. And our narrators are pretty quick. We've not had to wait a super long amount of time. It's just sometimes ACX takes forever to process, but the 10 days after we get the files is not too bad. And it's crazy because there's a group on Facebook and they know when our books are live on Audible before we know. Like, they tag us and I'm like, how do they get this notification? ACX doesn't even email us and say, hey, your book is live. Like, people are just stalking it and know. Our audiobooks are profitable. Each one that we have produced, we have so far, I believe, made our money back. If not, it's because it's a newer book and it hasn't been out as long. Takes a little bit of time to get it out there. We started taking over our audio for the Circle B Ranch series, and the Circle B Ranch series is doing really well on audio. I mean, it's shocking to see that grow because beforehand we were basically selling all of our books to publishers and just not dealing with it. And then we were like, you know what? This is more money in our pocket. Sure, we'll pay an expense up front, but eventually we will make our money back and it's an investment into our brand and our backlist. It's gone really well. If you can afford to get your audiobooks produced, I would recommend it. I would think twice about signing some contracts because most of them are for 7 years. You just don't have any control. Like, for us, we like to do freebies or we like to do 99-cent sales or whatever the case is. And when you're on WhisperSync, people can download those audiobooks for cheaper, $7.99. It's important for us to be able to go, hey, we have this freebie, download it, and then get this audiobook for half off. I don't think that we will ever sell any more audiobooks. I don't know what our plan is when those contracts come up for renewal, but I have a feeling that we might consider just redoing them ourselves. But we still have time for that because a lot of those contracts we signed within the last like 3 years. So, you know, we got like 4 or 5 years to even think about it. We've done several promos, had some book bubs, we've done freebie pushes, we have done newsletter builders with other authors, and we've just been really busy doing that kind of stuff. Brooke kind of like handles all of that. She loves doing newsletter builders and like small anthology projects and stuff, and I'm always like, we don't have time for that, you know. And so when she suggests these things, the text always starts off with ... I know that we do not have time to do this, but, and then, you know, she'll tell me what she wants to do, and I'm like, okay, cool. We have an assistant now. So as long as we are not spending our time on it and we can have Morgan kind of like wrangle those people, then I'm okay with it. But next year we have basically worked out what our schedule is going to be. And this year, y'all know that we've released, what will it be, 8 books or something when it's over with, if we survive the rest of 2021. But next year, I think we're only releasing 5 books. So we'll have more time to do more newsletter builders and like small anthology projects and stuff like that. I like the fact that we kind of put them together and we can choose who are in them and like what the theme is and all of that. And it's based on our schedule. So we're not like rushing around to try to get something to someone else. And it's just a really fun thing, and you get to meet new people and authors and, you know, celebrating successes, like when we made USA Today for that anthology and donated all that money to the Ronald McDonald House. Those types of things are really nice to do, and I actually enjoy them. I love benefit stuff where you make a difference in other people's lives, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Our words can help make a difference for a family who has a sick kid or people who, you know, need food. We've done stuff where the donations were donated to the food bank, you know. And those are the kind of things that I really enjoy. Also, during this time period, I did a little writing retreat with Brooke. We went to Breckenridge, Colorado, and stayed basically in kind of like a ski resort type of place. It had to have been because they had mountain bikes and stuff downstairs that you could rent. But it was really cool. The weather was perfect. I felt like it was fall in July, and we just had a really good time. We talked about rebranding and our schedule for next year and wrote some words, and just had a fun experience. That was nice to do because we haven't seen each other since our last signing, which was in 2019. I mean, in person. Of course, we've like talked and we've seen each other online and stuff. You know, it's different when you're face to face with somebody. You know, got to make my famous avocado toast because I'm bougie like that and I love avocado toast. And had coffee. There was a cute little Starbucks right down the road, so just walked down there and got coffee in the mornings and just had a really good time. It was fun. And we were both vaccinated, so there was no worries with that. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and we will probably plan something like that again next year. Earlier in 2021, we changed some release dates, which I believe I've spoken about before. And so now the rest of our 2021, we are releasing a book per month. So there's a release in October, November, and December, and it is Stress City. For me, I know that the next 3 months are going to be nothing but writing and editing. I'm here for it. I'm ready to get on the other side of that mountain, but I know how much work is about to happen. So it's just a lot that has to be done. Also, I was asked to be a speaker at a conference that will be held virtually this year. I'm super excited about it. It was one of my bucket list items, guys. And so I'll be doing that. I don't know if I can actually mention it out loud because I don't believe that I have officially been announced yet for that conference, but people have asked, you know, if I was doing it because I had said that I had wanted to at one point, and yes, I'm doing it. Without giving away too much, the topic that I will be talking about is going from I know that all of you are going to be like, Courtney, are you still on this? I am. It's going from Kindle Unlimited to all platforms. And it was an hour talk of me telling people how to basically leave the Kindle Unlimited program and what they can do to be successful on all platforms. And I know that's a video that people have asked for my channel, but I cannot record anything revolving that until after that conference is over. I can do basic stuff, but I don't want to do the same talk that I'm doing for that before it releases. So that will happen in November. You guys know that I am all about leaving Kindle Unlimited and going on all platforms, and I talk about it so much. I've got videos of pros and cons on both of them. I'll put links up above. But yeah, it was a strategic talk and I really enjoyed it, and so grateful that I'm gonna get to be a part of that. After my talk goes live at the conference, people will have the opportunity to ask me questions about it, and so that's gonna be fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, bucket list item. I'm so happy. And you know, I've felt comfortable enough to talk about it because I do YouTube and I sit here and chat with you guys all the time. I'm grateful that I am well practiced talking to a camera because of this. So doing that thing just felt like I was talking to you guys. I was like, hey, listen, this is who I am, but really, like, y'all should come over here to my YouTube channel because we've got a nice little family going over here. Another thing that we've done that was a pretty big deal was I kind of streamlined our website. Our shop does really well, guys, and it did really well last year, and this year I feel like it's doing even better. And that's because we have had a website since the very beginning, and we have had a shop pretty much since the very beginning. Now we have, you know, 33 books available. We've got alternate covers and box sets and full series collections, and so there's a lot of inventory that goes into that. But Brooke has done a really good job finding artists and designers and people who can make different types of swag and like merchandising items for us to add to our shop. I've been dealing with a lady who has a site where she orders all this stuff, so you only have to deal with one person, but she has different distributors, and so I've been spending a lot of time making different items for swag, like designing the text and the images and things of that nature for the stuff that we are putting on the website. Another huge thing is we started selling our ebooks on our website too. And there are advantages to this, and one of them is you do not have to pay the 30% retailer fee. Now, of course, new books, like, I don't really want to put them on there because I want people to pre-order that stuff, because pre-orders help us essentially make those lists and get seen, and like it helps with the algorithm and all of that. But after the book has been out for a little while, we're going to put them on our website so people can buy them directly from us, and we don't have to pay that 30%. We pay the 2.6% processing fee on PayPal, and that's it. One of the big things is, since we do have 33 books, people sometimes want to buy all of our books at once, and instead of going through and clicking all the books, we now have a collection where you can buy our entire catalog off of our website in ebook format. So that's a really neat thing that we've started doing, but all of our books are available on there right now. We just recently launched it. The goal is to nurture that and to, you know, have people buy directly from us. It actually helps us out. We make more money that way. But we also have other things that people can buy too, like stickers, and we've got swag packs and mystery books. And Brooke and I have been working on something that's super secret and super exclusive that will launch probably in a month or so, so I can't say too much about it, but we've been spending some time on that, and I think that it's going to do really well when that happens. I'm sure that I will give you guys an update on my next full-time author life video telling you about what we did and how it went. As far as my author life and scheduling and like how I imagined it would go, I would say that things are not how I imagined it would be at all. My life changed a lot And it wasn't necessarily because I quit my job, it was just because of my dad's health. And so, you know, I'm still trying to find my routine, and my schedule has been so jacked up lately. I mean, all summer long, Will and I built out a van. That's all that we focused on. Of course, like I got my deadlines done and my writing done, but during the day, we were literally building out a van without any experience. And so things took longer to do. And so that was my life for a little while. And like, I'm so happy that we could do that because it kept my mind off of other things. But then after the van was done, we went to Yellowstone for 2 weeks and we came back. And ever since we've been back, my schedule has been jacked. I stay up until 5 or 6 a.m. every morning. I sleep until, depending on what I need to do, sometimes I wake up at 10, sometimes I wake up at 3. It's all over the place, and I'm trying to reset myself, but it's really hard. It's very, very hard. One of my things when I quit my job was I just want to be able to wake up when I wake up. And I have I've stayed true to that, but oh my God, like going to sleep at 6 a.m. has to stop. But I have a feeling the next 3 months, considering we are under major deadline, it's just not going to get any better. And then it's going to start getting darker sooner, and it's going to be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, and I hope y'all are here for it. As far as my backlist, I've had some people ask me about this, and I know that I made an announcement at some point that I was just not gonna focus on working on my backlist. But I think next year, once Brooke and I are not releasing quite as much and have more time to work on audiobooks and foreign translations and all the other little things that we're doing, anthologies, newsletter builders, all this stuff, you know, I might have a little bit more creative power in my brain to start working on my backlist. But right now, it's still on the back burner. It's back there simmering. It's been simmering for about a year, might be a little burnt on the bottom, but that's not my priority. Like, I'm not that worried about it. I don't care that I don't have books to share with people that are my personal books. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, people want to support me, buy Kennedy Fox books. I'm totally okay with it. Like, it's not anything that I feel like I need to do right at this moment. Another thing that I've talked about a lot is the traditional publishing and how I want to do that, and how, you know, I made promises to my dad that I was going to pursue that. And so after I get through these next few months where life is just going to be super busy writing, I am going to kind of put some time to the side and start really plotting out that book. When I wrote by myself, I was more of a planster. So I would have key points, I would bullet point those things out, and then I would figure out how to get from point A to B as I was writing. Brooke and I plot things specifically chapter by chapter with bullet points. And I feel like because we do it so hardcore, I need an outline. And so I feel like the outline is going to take me a little bit of time. Obviously, after I finish it, the goal is to maybe send it to Brooke. I haven't even asked her, but I'm sure she'll be fine with it. Send it to Brooke, send it to some of my other friends, and have them read it and tell me if there's anything that they feel like is missing or doesn't really make sense. Because like I said, I've not really plotted out a book alone ever. It's just going to be different because I haven't written alone in 5 years. It's been that long. Speaking of that, when this video posts, it will be the week of me and Brooke's 5-year publiversary of This Is War. 5 years. Like, our book is going to kindergarten. Like, this is crazy. And it still sells well. People still download it and love it so much. So it's cool. It's a really cool thing to be able to celebrate 5 years of this book being published. Our first little baby. So yeah, this video is getting kind of long. I am sure that I forgot some things that we've done. I did not write it down. The last 6 months of my life have been rocky. You guys know. And so I looked at the calendar and I was like, oh my God, it's September. I said that I was gonna do quarterly or like year and a half or 18 months or whatever. And so I knew that I needed to make this video, not just for you guys who are wondering how my writing life has been going, but for myself, because I forget. And sometimes I go back and watch those older videos and I'm like, wow, I remember when we did that. I totally forgot about those little details. Those little things are the things that you forget later on. And that's why I like to make these videos and I want to keep this series going. Things have been weird for me. I just got back in the groove of making videos for you guys again. So yeah, it's been good. Quitting my job was the best decision of my life, and I will continue to say that. It was a hard decision. It was not an easy one. It was something that I wished for, that I wanted, that I worked for. It was my number one thing on my bucket list, was to be able to do this full time and have the freedom to be with my parents and do those things. And this job has allowed me that. And I'm so grateful that I get to do this. And people are always like, oh, well, how long did it take you? I've been doing this for 3 years and I can't quit my job yet. Well, it took me 10. For me, I've always got the 5-year plan. I'm like, oh yeah, the 5-year plan is this. And I had the 5-year plan to quit my job, but it literally took me a decade and I don't regret it. I think that timing was everything and it all happened at the right time. And I'm grateful for that. And I love this life that I have, and I love being able to write. Like, that is still strange to me to tell people that's my job. They're like, what do you do? Oh, I'm an author. And you know, people who don't know anything about it, they're just kind of like, that pays your bills? And I'm like, yeah, it does. It pays off the bills. It's just a really good feeling to know that back in 2011, I was like, man, I'm gonna write a book. And that's it. Like, I've never written a book before at this point. I was like, I'm gonna write a book. And Will is like, you're not a writer. And I'm like, I know, that's the crazy thing about it, huh? But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write a book. And then I wrote a book, and then I wrote another one, and this is where we are. Like, this is my job. And it's so crazy for me to go back to those different points in my life where I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna quit this job. I'm gonna write full time. It's going to allow me to not struggle. Like, I wanna keep the same lifestyle. I don't wanna quit my job and lose that. And now all those things have come true. And all I have to do is keep writing and keep publishing and keep moving forward. And that's like, it makes me speechless when I think about it and I talk about it. But anyway, I can talk about this all day and all night. I will be planning some live streams, so make sure that if you're not subscribed, then to do that. Sometimes YouTube does me dirty and doesn't tell people that I'm going live. Check out the community tabs I kind of post in there. So yeah, it's been 18 months since I quit my job. It feels like yesterday sometimes, and it feels like a lifetime at other times. I mean, it's still strange to me. It feels weird and like I'm still living in the twilight zone. I'm hoping that that wears off soon, but probably won't. But yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. If you stayed to the end of this video, thank you so much. And yeah, that's it. I hope you have an amazing, incredible week. You accomplish all your goals and you write all the words, and I'll see you again in my next video.